What's up, everybody? There are a lot of posts online about one question. Am I the And a lot of these posts are people looking for validation about a tough decision they had to make, right? They want to know if they were too mean to their boss's kids. They want to know if they were too nice when their wife said,
"No, honey, we can't spend money on a Nintendo Switch. My boyfriend needs gas."
That type of stuff. And I would wager a lot of people know, or maybe you are, a doormat. You're the first person in line at Target on Black Friday who's going to be the pathway, the ramp, the guiding body that the other 100 people behind are going to walk right over to get their hands on that sweet, sweet Xbox 7. That might be someone you know, or that someone might be you. And today's video is all about analyzing pushover behavior, so we're going to look at some posts, and we're going to be brutally, gently honest about how to fix that behavior. Because today is not just about analyzing the people getting pushed over, but more importantly, the goal of today's video is to hopefully give a pushover out there a path to becoming a more selfish, selfless person with average conflict resolution skills. So I'll get things started with a very straightforward post from Reddit, which is, I am and have always been a massive pushover. I find it hard just to say no. How can I change? I'm a 22-year-old male and recently came to the realization that I'm somewhat of a pushover, or a yes man. I've just completed my degree and will graduate next week with a 2-to-1 in a course with good career prospects. I had applied for jobs in different cities throughout the UK and Ireland. Basically, I wanted to work in a city and move away from my hometown to experience what life is like away from home. Mostly because I feel trapped at home. I did live away for uni, but still came home on the weekends for my part-time job. I received 2 really good offers in cities I really wanted to live in, but being the pushover I am, I let my mom and dad and family guilt trip me into declining these offers. My dad put my name into a local company that were looking for graduates, and because I need money and had no other offers, I had to take this job. I have no heart to take it and feel I'm putting my real career goals at stake. All because I didn't want to upset my family. Now in this situation, I think we all know what Buddy has to do. Kill his family. He's English, Jack the Ripper style, but just target the ones you love, not strangers. I think actually this is a super common thing that people experience, family guilt. And I think it's one of the worst ones because it's people who obviously raised you or, birthed you, and they naturally kind of build an obligation from you, and you obviously feel obligation to them. I think once a person becomes a legal adult, that's what you are. You are entitled to become who you are. Basically, if you need to, you gotta treat your parents like a needy ex sometimes, Hey, look, I'm gonna have to go away now. I gotta take a job in a big city, in a big small city in the Midlands. The UK, that's right. I gotta take a job managing the production of spoons. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna have to fuck off for a while. And you're just gonna have to figure it out. Do you know what I mean? You look your parents right in the eyes and say, "Fuck off. I've got to do my own thing. I can't stay here picking up the dog shit every morning." Before I push into the next story, I gotta take a pause and thank the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Do you find something might be interfering with your happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Maybe you're giving a little too much time to others and you're not focusing on yourself. Well, regardless of what you're going through, therapy can be a great way to learn tools and skills to get you through life's challenges. BetterHelp aims to make finding a therapist easier because it's all done online, which means it's entirely remote. And by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you with a professional therapist in as little as a few days. You can message your therapist at any time and schedule live sessions when it's convenient for you. And if the therapist isn't a good fit, you can switch to another one. So if you are thinking of trying out therapy, well, BetterHelp might be a great solution for that. You can sign up now by going to betterhelp.com/Noel Miller or clicking the link in the description. And if you sign up, you'll get 10% off your first month. Thanks again, BetterHelp, for sponsoring this video. Now let's push over back into the video. Now this next one ties into something that we've discussed a lot on this channel recently, which is retail job obligations. Check this out. Someone mentioned feeling guilty for calling in sick, knowing that they'll be berated. And here's my response. I was working at a clothing store for 2 years. I covered at least 2 shifts a week when people called in because the company refused to give me a full-time position. probably because they needed me available to cover everyone else's shifts. One day, my older sister and her longtime boyfriend decided that they would get married the following weekend. I told my boss that I knew it was short notice, but I needed this day off. My boss knew me very well by this point and knew that my sister was my hero and practically raised me. My boss said, "There's a sale this weekend." Now I know some of you are already cringing. You're thinking, dude, there's a sale that weekend? Who gives a f? There's a sale going on all the time at this stupid company. That's how capitalism works. I was stunned, but wasn't yet the person that I am. So I asked everyone who was off that day to switch shifts with me. And of course they would. I'd cover multiple shifts for literally every other employee, but they were all too busy. Some had a party to go to, some had shopping to do. All were ungrateful, selfish assholes. I told my boss that no one would swap shifts with me and they were just going to have to be short-staffed for a few hours. She said that if I was late or was going to leave early, not to come in ever again. I was, regrettably, a timid pushover at the time. So I missed my sister's wedding for a shift at a minimum wage job that didn't care about me. Fast forward to a few years now, my sister is dead. She died in a car crash last year, and never in my life will I regret anything more than missing her wedding. Now, obviously, this is a terrible story, and obviously, you hope that it doesn't take a major event like this to cause you to change. But for some of us, sometimes that is our story. I don't think we need to be brutal to this person because this person is brutal enough on themselves. But I do think it raises an important point about a retail job. Managers at retail jobs feel very comfortable minimizing your life. And honestly, I think sometimes this comes from age. I think middle managers in retail jobs, a lot of them have like nothing to live for. And that's mean, but I don't know what it is about some of these people that when they take on this middle management job, they're signing up for war. They get the name of the company tattooed on their chest and they live and die by that, you know? They got a set of keys on a bungee cord wrapped around their wrist, and they got a big fat clipboard, and on top of it is a schedule. And they wave that shit over your head, and they'll hold your life in their hands. You could be like, "Hey man, is it possible I could pick up some shifts? I'm trying to, raise some money for myself so I could get insulin shots." And they'll go, "Well, that depends. Can you downstock 5 refrigerators by yourself and get them organized on the floor for this weekend sale? And if you can do that, then maybe, just maybe, I'll give you an extra little shift." Retail middle managers, for some reason, they can't process that when you're young working a retail job, you're not supposed to give a shit about that job. And unfortunately, what they signed up for is managing a bunch of people that don't give a about that job. Typically. And I guess if you're a person working in a retail job and you're the only person that really cares about that retail job, I just want to say this. Aim higher if you can. I don't know what that path is. Maybe it's selling drugs. No, don't do that. Don't do that. The person that cares at a retail job, you're almost condemning yourself to the reality of being that middle manager and being the only person that cares about that retail job. And you don't want to be that. You don't want to give your life to T-Mobile. Set boundaries to become boundaryless. You want to become a selfish, selfless person with just average conflict resolution skills. This one, I don't know if this is about being a pushover so much as like, this is skirting on the ick, right? And you'll see what I mean by this. My pregnant girlfriend called me a wuss and is now refusing to come home. You must have f***ed up bad if a person carrying a human doesn't want your support. We've been together for 5 years, living together for 2. Yesterday, we went grocery shopping. We do it once a week before the weekend. We both work from home, so we never usually order groceries. So when we were standing in line to pay, a young mother with 2 children had a big bag of toilet paper and asked us with the little language that she could if she could get ahead of us in line. One of her children was screeching in a tantrum. I said, "Sure." She then pulled a whole cart that I didn't see. When I saw the cart, I burst out laughing, and the young mom was nervous at first, and then she laughed. Nice try. You think I'm reading that? You think I'm reading that word? I'm gonna rebrand that word as then she sort of chuckled. Girlfriend was very angry at the lady. She started yelling and shouting at her and told her that she was rude and impolite. I honestly agree with my girlfriend, but I found the audacity laughable. Anyway, on our way home, my girlfriend didn't talk to me at all. When we got home, she asked me for the car keys. I asked her where she was going. She said that she was tired of being together with a pushover and a wuss, that she's been tired for a long time now, and that she wanted a real man. I was so confused and asked her when I ever was a wuss, but she just said she's staying with her mom and that she needs to reevaluate her life and relationship. She doesn't want a wuss to be the father of her child. So let's break this down. Public situation. Someone asks you for a favor. This is a real-time favor. You know, you're standing in line at the grocery store. You got shit to do. You're queued up in the order that you're queued in, and someone's asking to hop. If you're even thinking about saying yes, we already have a problem. This one, clear setup from far away. What business does someone have asking to go ahead of you in a line? If they present you with a singular item and they say, do you mind if I jump ahead? I'm paying for this one thing. It better be in their two hands. You better see a credit card and an object. Anything past that, no. This comes down to this person thinking they don't deserve their spot in line. This is a deep, deep psychoanalysis of who this person is. If you let people hop you in line at a grocery store, what's next? What's next? You gonna let someone borrow the keys to your car and get a DUI in it? Total it? What's next? You gonna let someone get ahead of you in the wheel? What's next? I mean, you might as well just lay down. I just gotta pay for my insulin, my diabetes. Get in line. Now, this situation, I'm not even giving, too much flack to the pregnant woman, because pregnancy automatically, that woman is fighting demons in there. When a woman is pregnant, that's Pandora's box. That's all the hormones of creation going in her. I mean, she has a war going on inside her mind. You didn't stand up for your pregnant wife? Yeah, I mean, that's likely to piss her off. If anything, bro, you should have looked at that woman and looked at her and thought there should have been some camaraderie. You should have looked at her and thought, you think I'm gonna let you cut ahead of me in front of a pregnant woman that I'm committed to? You're out of your mind. There is a 7,000-year-old spirit inside her right now that fought next to Genghis Khan, and it's gonna come for me if I let you cut right now. Yeah, I think letting old people off elevators first, that's all right. That's okay to be courteous. And letting a person with children ahead of you on an airplane. You got hit by a car? Stand up, gang. Someone rear ends you? Oh, I don't think I have my insurance. Cash. Pay up. Right now, write me a check. Let's go to the bank. Being a bit serious for a second, I would conclude with this. It's all right to help the team. It's all right to kind of look out for others. But always factor at what expense. And more importantly, ask questions. If you're uncomfortable saying no at first, you can ask more questions. For example, someone asks you, can I cut ahead of you in line? No. As another example, hey, can you cover my shift? Why? What do you have going on? Someone dead? Someone getting married? This an important life event? Cool. If I do this for you, can I guarantee you'll do the same in the future? Not willing to make a contract? Then I guess there's no shift coverage. You get what I'm saying? You can set your terms even by asking questions. Now, I know a lot of what I'm saying is kind of like nihilistic maybe, or maybe more narcissistic, and it's a very pessimistic view of the world where everyone's out to get you and you got to look out for number one. And to that I would say, yes, that is America. Kindness does go a long way. Kindness can also put you behind a very long transaction in line at the grocery store. So keep that in mind. It's okay to set boundaries, and it's okay to be courteous, as long as you're okay with the expense. But the expense should never be your own well-being. It should just be maybe a few minutes. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. If you're a pushover of some kind, and you want more specific advice from me or the group, sound off, sound away, get in there, and tell us your thoughts below, or maybe we'll put an email right here if you're still watching. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.